Hey everybody, this is your instructor, and this is the last video in our series, IELTS Writing, Everything You Need to Know. If you missed the first 3 videos, I highly recommend checking them out. They're filled with tips and tricks that can help you improve your score. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to be successful on test day. Let's start off by addressing the big question. What is the IELTS writing test like? In this section, I'll cover what you'll actually see on test day, how you should respond, and how the test is structured. Then I'll move on to discuss the 4 things the IELTS examiner is looking for in a top scoring response. In the academic version of the IELTS exam, Task 1 is a data response. In other words, you will be given some sort of data, and you will need to write a 150-word report summarizing it. Here are the 4 types of data you might see: charts and graphs, tables, maps, or diagrams. Each type requires a slightly different approach, but in general, you will want to include these 3 elements in your response: a title that accurately reflects the data overview, which presents the main trends and findings without any detailed examples, and a thorough description of the data, which should highlight key details and use precise language. Now, in Task 1, you'll always be assessed on your ability to handle different data types. But in Task 2, you will be assessed on your ability to write an essay in response to a particular type of task. In the academic version, there are 5 common types of tasks: advantages and disadvantages, positive and negative, opinion, problem, and solutions. In the general training version, you might receive a different set of tasks, but the skills being tested are exactly the same. In other words, whether you're writing an essay, a letter, or a report, the examiner is looking for the same 4 things. The first is task relevance. In other words, did you answer the question fully and clearly? This includes understanding the nuances of the prompt and sticking closely to the topic. Next is coherence and cohesion. How well your ideas flow together and are linked together using a range of cohesive devices such as pronouns, transitions, and so on. The third criterion is lexical resource, which is your range and accuracy of vocabulary. And finally, the 4th criterion is grammatical range and accuracy, which includes your range and accuracy of grammar and punctuation. Okay, so now that you know what the test is like and how it's structured, let me give you 4 quick tips to help you succeed on test day. Tip now. 1 is to understand the differences between the different task types. For example, in an advantages and disadvantages essay, you need to discuss both sides of an issue, whereas in a problem-solution essay, you only focus on one side. In Task 1, you need to understand the unique features of each data type. For example, when describing a pie chart, you should talk about percentages, whereas when describing a bar chart, you should talk about quantities. And in a letter, you need to adapt your style to the audience and the purpose of the letter. Tip no. 2 is to plan your answers before you write them. Now, planning doesn't take much time, but it can significantly improve the quality of your responses. And if you run out of time and don't have time to write a full essay or a full letter, you'll still get marks for your plan. Tip no. 3 is to write clearly and logically. In other words, write in a way that is easy to understand. Use paragraphs to separate ideas. Use linking words to connect ideas and show relationships. And use simple but precise language. I can't stress enough how important it is to write clearly. It's the easiest thing you can do to improve your score. And tip number 4 is to proofread your answers if you have the time. Look out for spelling, grammar, and punctuation mistakes. Try to fix them. And don't worry if you're not sure of a word's spelling. Don't leave it blank. Make an educated guess. You might be right. So those are my top 4 tips for improving your writing score. But what can you do starting today to guarantee success on test day? Well, start by downloading a bunch of past year's exams and start practicing. Write under timed conditions and get used to the feeling of the real test. Then evaluate your performance by using the official band descriptors to assess your own work. Identify your strengths and weaknesses and focus on improving your weaknesses. Oh, and one final tip. Don't just write practice essays. Read them. Think about how you could write them better. Thanks for watching, and remember, every great story starts with a single word. Write that word. Write that essay. Write that report. Write that letter. Turn your story into an IELTS Band 7+ writing score.